Toyota is making a bold and innovative move that sets it apart from the rest of the automotive industry's trend toward an all-electric future. Rather than concentrating solely on electric vehicles, Toyota is reviving internal combustion engines with the development of a revolutionary hydrogen combustion engine. Having established itself as a leader in hybrid technology with models like the Prius, Toyota is now shifting its focus to hydrogen. However, this time it's not about hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicles or FCEVs like the Toyota Mirai. Instead, the company is concentrating on hydrogen-powered internal combustion engines. Traditional hydrogen FCEVs like the Mirai have encountered performance challenges, often being perceived as underpowered, heavy, and less practical for everyday use. Toyota's new hydrogen combustion engine aims to address these shortcomings, providing a more powerful and practical alternative while preserving the eco-friendly benefits of hydrogen, which is the most abundant element in the universe. One of the significant drawbacks of lithium-ion batteries used in electric vehicles is their environmental impact. Lithium mining can lead to soil and water pollution, and despite advancements in battery technology, issues like charging times and range limitations remain. By merging the strengths of internal combustion engines with the sustainability of hydrogen, Toyota seeks to tackle these challenges head-on. Historically, BMW explored hydrogen combustion technology in the late 90s and early 2000s with models such as the E38 and E65. However, those efforts never progressed beyond the prototype stage due to a lack of hydrogen infrastructure. Fortunately, thanks to Toyota's work with the Mirai, the hydrogen infrastructure has expanded, providing the necessary groundwork for developing and producing hydrogen combustion engines. Currently, Toyota is developing two hydrogen combustion engines. The first is a 1.6-liter turbocharged three-cylinder engine, the same as that found in the GR Yaris and GR Corolla, but adapted to run on hydrogen. Remarkably, this engine retains the powerful growl of its gasoline counterpart despite the fuel change. The second engine is a 5-liter V8 derived from the engine used in the Lexus RCF. This engine is intended for larger vehicles such as pickup trucks, SUVs, and larger sedans. Toyota's shift toward hydrogen combustion engines could potentially revolutionize the automotive industry, offering a powerful and eco-friendly alternative to both electric and gasoline vehicles. This innovative approach not only positions Toyota as a leader in sustainable automotive technology, but also opens the door for a new era in vehicle performance and environmental responsibility. The fact that neither of these engines lost much power after being converted to hydrogen is significant. Sure, there was a drop in output, however, the difference is negligible, to say the least. For these performance figures to be achieved without sacrificing Toyota's trademark reliability, several crucial changes needed to be made. There have been quite a few modifications made to the venerable 1.6-liter and 5-liter engines to make them function reliably using hydrogen. First, and by far the most important change, is the fuel system. Hydrogen is a gas and has been pressurized and cooled to the point of liquefaction. This means that the fuel system needed to be changed for something that tolerates extreme pressures better than the regular system, which is designed for liquid fuels. These changes include, most prominently, a new fuel pump and injectors, as well as fuel tanks that are structurally different from regular fuel tanks. They are the same as the ones used in the Toyota Mirai, meaning that they are quite massive, similar to LPG tanks. The ignition system has also been swapped out for a different solution, using different spark plugs that ignite hydrogen efficiently compared to the traditional spark ignition system. Additionally, the ECU also needed replacing, so that it could optimize performance and fuel efficiency, allowing the engine to be utilized better and increasing its longevity significantly. However, the biggest changes of all are the structural ones. Despite the two engines being the same unit, there have been several truly structural changes, such as a swap to more sturdy materials for the valves, the head and head gaskets, as well as the camshafts and the crankshaft. These have been made to mitigate the reactivity that hydrogen is well known for and to increase the expected lifespan of the engine. As a result of these extensive modifications, both the 1.6-liter and the 5-liter hydrogen engines retained most of the performance figures of their gasoline-powered counterparts while also being similarly fuel-efficient. The 1.6-liter has been tested out in a myriad of different vehicles, including the Toyota Corolla GR and Corolla Cross, and most prominently, the Toyota Yaris GR. The 5-liter is planned to be tested in the Land Cruiser, as well as the Toyota Tundra and Sequoia, further down the line. However, with great power comes great responsibility, and with great popularity comes a great number of problems. This brings us to the question, are there any arising issues with using this technology? Yes, a lot of issues have been brought to light. The biggest and by far the most prominent one is the acquisition of hydrogen. Sure, it is the most plentiful element in the universe, however, it is seldom found on its own. Hydrogen is mostly part of a compound, which means it requires processing before it is ready to be used. While extracting it from water might sound simple, the truth is far more complicated. This requires electrolysis, which is a convoluted and expensive process. Not to mention, it cannot be performed everywhere, as it requires specific conditions for it to be successful. As a result, obtaining hydrogen is, at least for now, quite a costly venture that is hardly profitable. Driving a hydrogen car is currently over 14 times more expensive than driving an EV, which is not something you want to hear while competing against EVs. Moreover, the electrolysis process requires electricity, defeating the purpose of replacing EVs with something more eco-friendly. Furthermore, even if you were to extract hydrogen cheaply by some miracle, another major challenge arises: storing it efficiently and safely. Hydrogen, being the lightest and smallest molecule in the universe, is highly reactive and notoriously difficult to contain. Unlike conventional fuels such as gasoline or diesel, which can be stored in simple tanks with minimal risk, hydrogen storage requires highly specialized and reinforced containment systems. This is because hydrogen has a tendency to escape through even the tiniest of openings due to its small molecular size. Additionally, it is extremely flammable, and under certain conditions it can pose a significant safety risk if not handled properly. One of the biggest concerns when storing hydrogen in a vehicle is the need for high-pressure armored tanks. In its natural state, hydrogen is a gas that needs to be compressed to extremely high pressures, typically around 350 to 700 bar, or 5,000 to 10,000 psi, to be stored in a vehicle-sized tank. This requires tanks that are not only capable of withstanding these pressures, but also resistant to hydrogen embrittlement, a process where hydrogen molecules gradually weaken the structural integrity of metals over time, increasing the risk of leaks or catastrophic failures. To counteract this, hydrogen tanks are made from advanced composite materials, including carbon fiber and high-strength alloys, which significantly increase the cost and complexity of production. The weight of these tanks also presents another major drawback. Since hydrogen gas is so light, storing enough of it to provide a reasonable driving range requires very large tanks. As a result, hydrogen-powered vehicles need significantly larger fuel tanks than traditional gasoline or diesel cars. These tanks take up a considerable amount of space within the vehicle, often reducing cargo capacity and limiting interior design flexibility. In some cases, hydrogen tanks are even heavier than the lithium-ion battery packs used in electric vehicles, which counteracts the potential weight-saving advantages of hydrogen as a fuel. Additionally, the process of refueling a hydrogen-powered vehicle is not as straightforward as filling up a gasoline tank. Hydrogen must be stored at cryogenic temperatures if it is in liquid form or at extremely high pressures in gaseous form. The refueling infrastructure for hydrogen is still in its infancy, with very few refueling stations available worldwide. Unlike electric vehicles, which can be charged at home, hydrogen refueling requires specialized stations equipped with complex cooling and compression systems. This lack of widespread infrastructure makes hydrogen vehicles impractical for most consumers, as they may struggle to find a convenient refueling station when needed. Despite improvements in hydrogen storage technology, safety concerns remain a major issue. Hydrogen is highly flammable, and if a leak were to occur, it could pose a significant explosion risk. Unlike gasoline, which pools on the ground when spilled, hydrogen quickly disperses into the air, making it difficult to detect a leak without specialized sensors. Furthermore, hydrogen burns with an almost invisible flame, which can make it hard to identify a fire in case of an accident. While modern hydrogen storage systems are designed with multiple safety redundancies, including reinforced tanks, automatic shutoff valves, and leak detection sensors, the inherent risks associated with hydrogen remain a challenge that needs to be addressed before widespread adoption can occur. Even if the issues of storage and safety were resolved, there is still the problem of energy efficiency. The The process of compressing, cooling, and transporting hydrogen consumes a significant amount of energy. In many cases, the energy required to store and deliver hydrogen to end users outweighs the energy benefits it provides as a fuel. Compared to electric vehicles which can charge directly from the power grid, hydrogen must go through multiple stages of production, storage, and transportation before it can be used in a vehicle, making it a less efficient alternative in many cases. Furthermore, the current state of hydrogen refueling infrastructure remains one of the most significant barriers to mainstream adoption. Although Toyota and other companies have made significant investments in expanding the hydrogen fueling network, there are still very few hydrogen stations available globally. Most hydrogen refueling stations are concentrated in specific regions, such as California, Japan, and parts of Europe, leaving the vast majority of potential users without access to hydrogen fuel. In contrast, electric vehicle charging networks have expanded rapidly, with charging stations now available in nearly every major city and along most highways. Until hydrogen refueling infrastructure is as widespread and convenient as gas stations or EV chargers, hydrogen-powered vehicles will continue to face an uphill battle for acceptance. In conclusion, while hydrogen combustion engines present an exciting alternative to traditional gasoline engines and even electric vehicles, the challenges associated with hydrogen storage safety, efficiency, and infrastructure remain significant obstacles. Overcoming these issues will require major advancements in technology, large-scale investments in infrastructure, and a fundamental shift in how energy is produced and distributed. Until then, hydrogen-powered vehicles, despite their potential, may struggle to compete with the growing dominance of electric vehicles in the push toward a sustainable automotive future.